Pikachu!
What a goal! What a goal! What a goal! Time's up! You lose. The final stretch! Don't give up!
Pikachu!
The final stretch!
Okay, so your first shoot is complete. You have your footage in hand, but what's next? How do you turn what you shot into a great video? Well, it's all at your fingertips with the power of editing. So pull up a chair, fire up that computer, and let me show you some important steps to turn your idea into reality. Hi everyone, it's Kia, and my channel is The Notorious KIA. I've been creating videos on YouTube for over 6 years, and I can't overstate the importance of editing. Here are 12 steps that are the basics you need to know. Remember, you'll develop your own editing style as you practice more, but these are simple tips to help you get started. What's interesting is that editing begins long before the first cut. It starts on the shoot. Step 1, multiple takes. You may want to think about doing multiple takes of shots so you have plenty of performance options to choose from. Also, make sure you get all the wide shots you need and any close-ups that you want your audience to focus on. Step 2, back up your footage. Once you've completed a successful shoot, back up and transfer your footage immediately. I've heard so many stories of creators leaving their memory cards in cabs or at airports, and sometimes you won't be able to reshoot. So get that footage copied and somewhere safe quickly. Step 3, your edit space. Where you edit is very important. Make sure you find somewhere quiet where you can focus. You can even throw on a little music to set the vibe. Step 4, organizing your files. Import your footage and organize it into folders like you organize computer files in general. The more preparation you do sorting your footage into the right place, the better. It will save you hours later when you're looking for that one shot you just can't find. Trust me. Step 5, watch your footage. Spend time watching every single shot. This helps you familiarize yourself with all your footage. Step 6, beginning to edit. Finally. Mark the best takes, then lay them into a sequence in order on your timeline. This is called an assembly edit. It means you have all your top content in one place, roughly following the storyline. Step 7, fine cutting. Next, you start cutting the shots down further, removing the beginning and the end of them and creating your story. Consider removing any ums and ahs and any long pauses or boring parts. The goal is to really make your video move in a quick and efficient way. Jump cutting is often used to allow you to truncate time and move forward quickly and efficiently. Here's an example. The weather is really humid in New York, so I put it in a pineapple and I wash my hair weekly. Those are 2 questions that I get a lot. If you want to do something slightly more advanced, transitions is how you add variety and are an effective way to maintain the pace of the video. These are things like dissolves between shots or fades, which give the feeling of time passing. Another fun transition is the wipe, which can come in a lot of different styles. Some programs have automatic transitions as well as many options to customize them exactly the way you want. Step 8, watch over and over, pause, and do it again. Watch your video sequence down over and over again. The more times you watch it, the more you'll feel when it gets too slow or where you need to edit something out or if you need to explain moments in more detail. At some point, I always get too close to my work and I need to step away. So I take my dog for a walk or grab something to eat and I come back later or even the next day for a fresh perspective. Believe me, this always helps. Step 9, building up your edit. Consider adding B-roll and title cards or text callouts. B-roll is supplemental footage or images that support the story. It usually is intercut with whatever your main shot is and is used to show and tell what's going on. And a title card goes at the beginning of your video like this, which, like the title of a story, helps you set up what your audience is about to see. Text callouts are engaging ways to highlight important facts you want to bring to everyone's attention. They can be a lot of fun like this. And make sure you lay out all your titles on a separate layer to the footage so it's clear to see and easy to make changes. As your video edit shapes up, remember to add time for your in-screen elements like imagery for other related videos you want to promote or to encourage people to subscribe. Step 10, working with sound. This is all about the importance of sound. Sound? Audience usually don't mind bad lighting, but they can't stand watching a video where they can't hear what's going on. So record your sound well. And music is also very important. It sets the tone for your content. One of the best places to find great music is the YouTube audio library where all the tracks are free to use without issues. Step 11, mixing your sound. You should always try to do some mixing of your sound. This can be daunting, but the best rule of thumb is to make sure you can easily hear your voice at all times. So turn the music down so that it supports but doesn't overwhelm the voice, and turn it up when nobody is talking for more drama and excitement. Close your eyes and listen to your entire soundtrack and see if anything is too hard to hear or too loud, and make adjustments until it sounds good to you. Step 12, what is color correction? You can make your video look just the way you like it with color correction. You can boost up the saturation to make your colors pop and add contrast so your blacks truly look black. Then you're almost done. Watch everything a few more times to check that the cuts, sound, and images look exactly how you want them, and then you're ready to export. Set the export settings and look to see if your editing software has a specific export for YouTube option. Export your video onto your computer and then upload it to YouTube. I suggest you upload as unlisted first. This gives you time to write your title, description, and tags. Then when you're ready, flip your video to public for the world to see. I hope this video has helped you get started. Remember, editing is where a lot of the magic happens, so find a process that works for you. Check out the Creator Academy course for more information, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube Creators channel for a new video every week. So till next time, peace!
What's up guys, how's it going? My name is Joe Penna, aka Mr. Guitar Man, and I have a lot of music in my videos, so I'm here to talk to you about the creative use of music in your videos and shows. We'll chat about how to use music to further engage audiences, and finding the sweet spot in your show to place your music. In part 1, let's talk about how to use music creatively. Music can add emotion, rhythm, and energy to your videos, and can create the illusion that the pace of your show is moving faster or slower. Creating good rhythm and energy in your videos is so important to the level of engagement, particularly in a medium where attention spans are super short and audiences are ready to click away at a moment's notice. Think about what pace your show idea requires. Are you making a drama, or comedy, or horror, or even a vlog? Music can really help intensify moments of suspense, horror, drama, and comedy by creating emotional reactions. Believe it or not, music, or score in particular, can tremendously increase the production value of your show. You might want to use music in your video in places where you want to see an emotional response from your audience. It's also okay to think of music as a supplement to make up for a potentially weaker scene. Remember that fans love to be swept away, and that they're willing to let you manipulate their emotions with music to do this. Suspense, for example, is a great emotion to magnify with the use of music. You can also introduce music in parts where there's a large transition taking place for the character. For example, a character moving from one city to another, or starting a whole new life, something like that. Also consider using music in parts where you need to increase the tension or up the pacing of the show. For example, there's a short film that I just got done shooting that I thought some parts were a little too slow. We placed temporary music into it, and I realized that those parts were fine. Now let's talk about finding music you can use and researching effectively. Before you begin researching, first decide what type of music you need. And this goes back to the emotion that you're trying to get from your audience, or where in the story you'd like to increase the level of engagement from your fans. There are several different sites online and libraries dedicated to helping you find royalty-free music, either for free or for a very discounted cost. These libraries have an incredibly intuitive tagging system that helps you find the type of music you're looking for quickly and efficiently. Before you go down to these sites, sit down and make a list of the following. First, your show's genre. Second, the mood that you're trying to convey. Third, the theme of your show. Fourth, instruments that you like. And fifth, the length of time that you need the music to run. Once you've made this list, you're ready to start searching online. I try to find the right music in two different ways. One is I put the scene to loop in one monitor, and then I start playing a bunch of songs in the other monitor so that I can see what fits best. Or another way, before I start editing, I actually find the right song that I want to use, and then cut to that song. I make so many different types of videos that the music that I use for my videos can be very different, from dubstep to something more classical, very different. And when I can't find something that I like, I just try to make myself. You can also work with an independent musician or bands to license music for your videos. There are tons of talented musicians and composers who are trying to get their work out into the world just like you. Try connecting with these artists and offer to feature their music and credit them in your show in exchange for licensing to their music. A good place to start searching is on college campuses that have music programs. Lots of students lend out their music to further their education and to begin creating a name for themselves. Open mics are also a great place to meet up-and-coming artists who are talented but haven't made it big yet, so they're accessible to you. I've worked with some indie artists to create special music for my videos, and it was great because they created something that was unique and fit the video perfectly. Now let's talk about including the music in your video. You can select where the music will go in your video by spotting your show and auditioning pieces. After you've completed the editing of your show, run through it several times, marking the places where you feel that music would be beneficial. Jot down the time code, and then begin to place music in the selected time codes. Once you finish your first pass, watch your show from beginning to end as an audience member would. This is important because it will allow you to experience the music. Determine after this first pass if your emotional beat was conveyed, and if not, no worries. Lay down another piece of music and do it again. You can either use music that fits the pace of editing, or edit to the music. You don't have to have your show completely picture-locked before beginning to think about your music. In fact, oftentimes it's beneficial to lay music down that has a beat or a tempo that you like, and then cut your picture to mirror that beat. Alright, so let's finish up by talking about the difference between source music and scored music. Source music is music that emanates from the world of your show. This could be music that's playing on the radio, the television, the live band that you're filming, anything that is inside the world that you're creating. Source music can be used to let us know what time and period your show is taking place. For example, if 1950s music is playing, then your audience would have a sense of time and space. It's also a clever way of defining the nationality or location of your story. A singer singing in Arabic could potentially tell us that your story is happening in the Middle East. Another example, I just shot a short film that takes place in Mexico. So I want to make sure to use a lot of mariachi music for the happy scenes, or a lot of just guitars and guitarrones, and using those instruments that they use for their music to just make my score. Music can completely change a scene. The score defines the emotions of your film and can help fans interpret the intentions of your characters in your story. Well, thank you so much for watching this lesson on using music creatively. My name is Joe Pena, aka Mr. Guitar Man. If you want to check out some of my short films and how I've used music, you can check that out right there, or you can check out some more Creator Academy videos right there.
Hey there, I'm Freddie Wong, and I'm excited to share with you some awesome ways to use sound effects to make your videos even better. Using sound effects can allow you to take your videos to a whole new level by transporting your audience to another dimension, the dimension of sound. It can also significantly increase your production value without spending more money on camera. We probably spend equal, if not more, time doing sound effects and sound design on our videos than we do on visuals and visual effects. So I would say sound effects are probably one of the most important things that you can do to up the production value of your video, and also the cheapest way to up the production value of your videos. Keep in mind, with any video that you create, that the experience of your show is like 90% sound driven. I mean, like, take a look at this shot here. No sound effects, boring. Now, watch this one. Let's start by talking about what are sound effects. Sound effects refer to the things that you hear that establish the world of your video. These can be either made using various sound libraries or intentionally recorded and later edited in to make it feel real. The most exciting thing about sound effects and sound design is that there are virtually unlimited possibilities in terms of what you can do. An example of a library sound effect could be using rain in your background stem. Create a mood. Another example could be adding the sound of a dog, or food oozing out of a can, which is actually the sound effect that they use in the T-1000 in Terminator 2 when it passes through the steel wire. That's the sound of dog food. Out of a can. Weird. Gross. So one of the videos that we've done that has a boatload of sound design is one called Beach Justice. This is just shot on the roof of the building. And normally that's a pretty cheap video. But we spent a good 2-3 days just on the sound design, and I really think it actually adds quite a bit to the video. What we shot is super cheap, super fast. But what really makes that video stand out, and what makes that video, I think, have that sort of professional sheen to it, is the amount of time and work put into the sound design. Sound design starts with your script, not with the completion of your video. You should be asking yourself, where should you put sound effects and why on the script stage, not when it's too late. Look at your script and think about how sound effects can help you convey your story. How can sound effects increase your production value? Or how can sound effects simply fill in the gaps in areas where you can't or won't spend money? Instead of shooting a big explosion, maybe this could be a chance for you to use a sound cue off in the distance. So, if you know that you won't actually need to create an explosion, or if you can't legally create an explosion, you won't need to actually spend any time worrying about it because you'll let sound do all the work for you. Sound design and talking about sound design is something that happens in every step of the process. It's no different than talking about the look of what you're doing, or the visual effects, or any part of the movie, because this is something that you should be thinking about every step of the process. So from the script writing stage, you're thinking about what will this scene sound like, and maybe there's a mood we're trying to go for sound-wise with that scene. When we're shooting it, a lot of times you'll have ideas, or even if you're on location, you'll hear some cool sound somewhere, like, oh, we gotta include this somehow. So like in the last season of Video Game High School, there's a lot of stuff where there's the sound of a train in the distance. And we realized that is a cool sound, and it actually really worked to sort of fill out and sort of liven up the outdoor space. So it wasn't just the sound of, say, like traffic going by in the background. You actually had a sense of an environment and the world that you were sort of sitting and watching. Once you've created your blueprint/plan for sound design, it's time to begin collecting sound effects. There are a lot of ways to get sound effects. A lot of these using online pay libraries, or a pay-per-sound basis, or purchasing an entire library for a set amount. Additionally, there are a bunch of sites out there that offer free-to-use or royalty-free sound clips, which are a great way to start building your own library. The key to searching for sounds, though, is to think outside the box. So, for example, if you're doing a search for gravel steps and you don't think that the sound that you have really works, try expanding your search to include words like crunch or rock steps or things like that. If you're really not finding the sound that you like, well, that's on you. It's time to start recording your own sound effects. So, the most fun you can have with sound design is actually going out into the field and recording your own sound effects and then manipulating those sounds digitally to make them fit into your scene. So now that you've made or found some cool sound effects, what do you do with them? Organizing your sound effects well will really help you create a strong soundscape in your video, but there's a lot of things going on when you edit this stuff, so you have to know what's what. A video's sound design is comprised of several layers or stems. This is an organizational tool used for separating sound elements that can easily be manipulated in the mixing session. Dialogue, or DIA, the stem can be comprised of both ADR, which is any dialogue you record off screen, and any spoken words by actors. This stem will also include any voiceover by actors as well. Effects, or FX stems, and depending on the type of film that you're doing, the effects tracks will probably be the most effects that you have. Foley, or FOL, which is a track composed of recorded in post-production sounds of footsteps, clothes rustling, and any other sound sort of on-screen movement that's really hard to capture when you're shooting, and it really adds a lot of dimension and life to whatever the action is on screen. Music, or MX is your music or score track, and backgrounds, or BGs, are generally one continuous sound that runs throughout the duration of an entire scene. A background can be the sound of a rainstorm outside, or cars blowing by, traffic. The BG, if used effectively, can really texturize the world of your show. Sound effects done right can sell your world and story in a way that visuals alone just can't do. Sound design is actually very important for what we do because what we have is sort of action-driven and visual effects-driven stuff. So visual effects, sound design is the most important part of a visual effect because without it, it's just some thing on a screen. There's no reality to it. So almost every visual effect that we see is sold by that sound effect. Everything from the sea control monster in VGHS Season 3 to the gunshots and the punches and the fight sounds that we do in the video like Whose Plane Is It Anyway? Once you've cut your show, it's time to watch everything several times and jot down notes of what you need and at what time code. Then you can start throwing in sound effects. You don't need to find the perfect sound right away, and I found the best method is to just throw down several similar sound effects, play them one by one, and then see which one is the most effective. This is a process referred to as auditioning those sounds. Once you've laid your sound effects in, listen to your track several times to see if the sound is both effective and believable. I found a lot of times just having the right sound effect in there is way less work than trying to get a sound effect that doesn't quite work and like trying to tweak it digitally to make it sound right. Now you can start thinking about layering multiple sound effects to get a rich and real feel for your sound design. A lot of the sounds that you hear in movies are actually made up of a bunch of different sounds instead of just like one single sound effect. And this is what I mean when I say it's a layered sound effect. So, for example, in this scene where Indiana Jones runs away from the boulder, they didn't just find one boulder sound effect. There are multiple layers of the boulder sound. There's a rumble, there's a light crunch of the sand underneath it, there's the driving sound of the boulder itself, the rock itself rolling after him. All of those things layered together creates the full feel and sound of the giant rolling boulder. And most importantly, sounds don't necessarily have to follow real life unless that's the mood that you're going for. Sounds can be exaggerated and manipulated for shows. I mean, you can get away with creativity when you're talking about sound design, especially if you're working within the narrative genre. The last tip here is going to be mixing your sound effects with music and score. Now, of course, music can make your audience feel whatever you want them to feel. However, too much music and too loud music can completely obliviate all the work that you just did creating all this awesome sound design. This is where mixing comes into play. So lower your sound design, lower your music, play around with the levels of each of them so that you get your point across narratively, but without having one side necessarily overpower the other. Without sound effects and the music by itself, your show is going to become too one-dimensional. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Freddie Wong. If you want to check out some of my videos, go to youtube.com/rocketjump, or just click over here. If you want to check out more videos like this one, check out the Creator Academy on YouTube by clicking here.
So you're ready to start making videos. Good, but what type of camera should you use? Where will you record? Is it quiet enough?